Imagine standing in the center of a sold-out stadium where the ground shakes not from an earthquake, but from a literal purple ocean of pure energy. BTS didn't just break the music industry's rules, they burned the entire playbook. But behind the mesmerizing lights and perfection, veteran American promoters are sweating. Why do the pros who've handled the world's biggest rock legends say BTS is the final boss of logistical nightmares? What happens behind those closed curtains that makes this tour so difficult to handle? Are you ready to see the chaos behind the perfection? Let's dive into the secrets of the most challenging tour in history. Number 5. The Purple Tsunami, a logistical chaos. When an American promoter signs a contract to bring BTS to a stadium, they aren't just booking a musical act. They are essentially agreeing to manage a sudden, massive, and highly organized migration of a global community that descends upon a city with the force of a natural disaster. For decades, veteran promoters were used to the rock star playbook: a few tour buses, a standard soundcheck, and a crowd that shows up a couple of hours before the gates open. But BTS? They completely incinerated that old-school framework, forcing venues to rethink their entire operational existence from the ground up. Imagine the sheer mixture of terror and awe felt by a stadium manager realizing that the concert doesn't start at 8 p.m. It starts 4 days early, when thousands of fans begin populating the surrounding areas, not just to wait, but to create a living, breathing ecosystem. This is the Purple Tsunami, a phenomenon where every hotel room within a 50-mile radius vanishes instantly, and local transport systems are pushed to a literal breaking point. During the iconic Permission to Dance on Stage residency in Las Vegas, the promoters didn't just handle a show. They had to coordinate with the local government to transform the entire strip into Borahagis, managing massive pop-up stores that rivaled high-end department stores in complexity and scale. The logistics are mind-boggling because the margin for error is absolutely zero. If the digital infrastructure fails to sync 50,000 army bombs via Bluetooth, or if the merchandise lines, which can stretch for miles, become inefficient, the feedback is instantaneous and global. Promoters have confessed that the level of detail required for a BTS stop is more akin to hosting a Super Bowl every single night of the week. They have to manage dedicated fan zones, intricate safety protocols for thousands of campers, and a level of merchandise demand that often crashes the venue's internal payment systems. It is an emotional and physical marathon that leaves even the most seasoned industry veterans gasping for air, wondering how a single tour can demand such a monumental, high-stakes operation where everything must be perfect, or the whole world will hear about it within seconds. Number 4. The Tech Nightmare, Perfection or Nothing. Step into the control room of a BTS stadium tour, and you'll find yourself in a high-pressure environment that looks more like a NASA command center than a traditional concert setup. American promoters often speak in hushed, exhausted tones about the sheer technical audacity that Big Hit and BTS demand for every single second of their performance. You see, while most global superstars are content with a high-quality LED screen and some pyrotechnics, BTS operates on a level of perfection or nothing that terrifies even the most experienced local crews. The technical rider, the document that lists every piece of gear required, is often hundreds of pages long, filled with specifications for proprietary stage designs that move, rotate, and elevate in ways that defy traditional stadium engineering. Promoters have to source specific, ultra-high-density LED panels that can handle the massive 4K visual storytelling without a single dead pixel, because the Army's eagle eyes will spot a glitch from the back of the nosebleed seats. Then there is the Bluetooth synchronization for the light sticks. Imagine the logistical nightmare of ensuring that 50 to 70,000 individual devices are perfectly synced to the central control board via a local network that must be stable enough to withstand the interference of tens of thousands of smartphones. If the light stick ocean doesn't change color at the exact millisecond the beat drops, it's considered a failure. Promoters must also navigate the nightmare of the moving stage logistics, massive transparent platforms that glide over the audience, requiring intricate weight calculations and safety certifications that vary from state to state in the US. Every city presents a new set of fire codes and structural limitations that the BTS production team refuses to compromise on, forcing promoters to work around the clock with local engineers to modify stadium infrastructures. We are talking about hydraulic lifts that must operate in total silence, sound systems that need to deliver studio-quality clarity to a stadium holding 60,000 screaming fans, and a lighting rig so complex it requires its own dedicated power grid. It is a relentless pursuit of a cinematic live experience where the margin for error is non-existent. For the American promoter, this isn't just a concert. An element, it's a high-stakes engineering project where one loose cable or a 5-second delay in the moving parts could ruin a meticulously choreographed masterpiece that took years to design, making it the most technically draining tour to ever hit American soil. Number 3. The security fortress, beyond maximum capacity. When you talk to American promoters about the security requirements for a BTS tour, you see a look of genuine, exhausted respect in their eyes, because this isn't just about hiring a few extra guys in suits to stand by the stage. We are talking about a full-scale, multi-layered security operation that rivals the protection of a visiting head of state. For most A-list celebrities, a standard security detail is enough to manage the lobby and the backstage area, but with BTS, the entire city becomes a potential security flashpoint. Promoters have to coordinate a massive invisible net that stretches from the moment the group's private jet touches down at a secret terminal to the second they leave the city limits. The sheer scale of the Army's devotion means that leaked hotel locations or flight paths can lead to thousands of fans gathering in minutes, creating massive safety risks, not just for the members, but for the public at large. Promoters have revealed that they often have to book multiple floors in several different high-end hotels just to act as decoys, a logistical shell game designed to keep the group's actual location a total mystery. Within the stadium itself, the security pressure is suffocating. Promoters must hire triple the amount of personnel compared to a standard rock show because they have to manage the gauntlet of the barricades where the energy is so intense it can become physically dangerous. There is also the Sasang factor, extreme individuals who go to terrifying lengths to invade the group's privacy, requiring specialized cybersecurity teams to monitor social media in real time for any potential threats or unauthorized tracking. Every entrance, every tunnel, and every backstage corridor must be swept and guarded 24/7 by elite teams who understand that a single breach isn't just a minor slip-up, it's a global PR crisis. Promoters are forced to work hand-in-hand with local police departments, the FBI, and private tactical units to create a bubble of safety that moves with the group. It's a relentless, high-stress game of chess, where the promoter is responsible for the lives of 7 global icons who are constantly under the microscopic gaze of millions. The emotional weight of that responsibility is heavy. One wrong move in crowd control or one unsecure exit could lead to a tragedy that would haunt the industry forever, making the security aspect of a BTS tour a grueling, sleepless nightmare for everyone involved in the organization. Number 2. The global scrutiny. No room for mediocrity. For an American promoter, the most terrifying thing about handling a BTS tour isn't the technical rider or the massive crowds. It's the fact that they are operating under a global magnifying glass that never, ever blurs. When you work with BTS, you aren't just answerable to the group or their management. You are answerable to the Army, a decentralized, highly intelligent, and incredibly well-organized global watchdog that knows the industry standards better than some professionals. Promoters have often described the feeling as being on a permanent live broadcast, where every single decision from the price of water at the venue to the efficiency of the entry gates is critiqued in real time by millions of people across Twitter, TikTok, and Weverse. This global scrutiny creates a psychological pressure that is almost unbearable. If a fan in the back row feels the sound quality is slightly muffled, or if a security guard is seen being even slightly disrespectful, the promoter's reputation can be dismantled globally before the concert even ends. American promoters are used to one-off complaints that stay within the venue, but with BTS, a local issue becomes an international headline within minutes. This forced the promoters to adopt a level of transparency and excellence that was previously unheard of in the touring industry. They have to ensure that the staff is not just trained in safety, but also in cultural sensitivity and the specific fan-first philosophy that big hit music demands. Promoters have shared stories of having to redo entire signage systems or completely reorganize parking layouts at the last minute because the digital chatter from the fans indicated a potential bottleneck. There is no such thing as good enough when it's BTS. It has to be legendary, every single night. The emotional toll of this is massive. Promoters live in constant fear of a trending hashtag that could ruin their professional standing. They are required to provide a seamless, premium experience for a demographic that spans all ages, races, and languages, requiring a level of logistical inclusivity that most American stadiums simply weren't built for. It's a relentless, high-stakes game of reputation management, where the promoter must act as a bridge between a massive, passionate fanbase and a corporate machine that demands 100% perfection. The sheer weight of being watched by the entire world makes every BTS tour stop feel like a career-defining moment where one mistake is one too many, turning the promoter's job into an exhausting marathon of hypervigilance. Number 1. The uncompromising HYBE standard, a 24-hour non-stop machine. This is the final, most grueling reason that haunts the dreams of every American promoter, the legendary, uncompromising HYBE standard that treats every single concert not as a show, but as a historical event. When you sign on to a BTS tour, you are essentially signing away your sleep, your sanity, and your traditional way of doing business because this is a 24-hour global operation that never stops breathing. The time difference between Los Angeles and Seoul is just the beginning of the nightmare. As soon as the American team finishes a 15-hour day at the stadium, and the Korean headquarters is waking up with a new list of meticulous adjustments, feedback from the previous night's soundcheck, and high-level strategy changes that must be implemented before the sun rises. It is a relentless cycle of communication where the word impossible simply does not exist in the vocabulary. Veteran promoters have shared that the sheer work ethic of the 7 members RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook is so intense that it forces every single person on site, from the high-level executives to the local stagehands, to work at a 200% capacity just to keep up. We are talking about a group that will rehearse a 3-minute dance break for 5 hours straight in a freezing or sweltering stadium until every finger movement is synchronized to the millimeter. This means the promoter has to keep the entire stadium infrastructure, lighting, security, catering, and medical staff on high alert for double the usual time, often shattering budget projections and labor hour limits. But it's more than just the hours, it's the spiritual and emotional weight of the big hit philosophy, which dictates that the fan experience is sacred. If the group feels that a certain camera angle or a stage prop isn't conveying the right emotion to the fans in the very last row, they will demand a total overhaul just hours before the gates open. Promoters have to navigate the complex, delicate balance of American labor laws and strict union regulations, while trying to satisfy a Korean production team that is used to a do-or-die level of efficiency. There is also the monumental pressure of the live play systems, managing a secondary, massive viewing event simultaneously with the main concert, which effectively means the promoter is running 2 sold-out stadium shows at the exact same time. It is a level of operational complexity that has never been seen in the history of the music industry. By the end of a BTS tour, promoters aren't just celebrating a successful business venture, they are surviving a transformational, exhausting, and deeply humbling experience that redefines everything they thought they knew about entertainment. It is the ultimate test of endurance, a 24/7 machine of perfection that leaves even the giants of the industry bowing in respect to the sheer, unyielding power of the BTS brand.